and welcome to the Edu-Leaders Show on the Bulletin, where we bring you the latest insights and trends from the world of education. I'm Daisy, and I'm excited to guide you through this episode. We have an esteemed guest joining us, Dr. Parul Nagpal, Director of International School, Mullana, shared her positive experience at the summit, emphasizing the significance of collaboration and discussions on modern learning strategies such as blended and experiential learning. She highlighted how experiential learning, rooted in India's ancient traditions, is now being promoted through NEP 2020. Now, let's move directly into our interview. Over to you, Rumani. Let's hear what Dr. Parul Nagpal had to say.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have with us a very special guest. She is Dr. Parul Nagpal, Director, International School, Mullana. Welcome to the summit, ma'am, and how's your experience being here?
Thank you so much. I think it's been a wonderful platform that Times to Grow has given to each of the educators present here. And I think they all are visionaries with a purpose. So collaborating and networking with them has been a wonderful experience. And we've had a lot of enlightening discussions today, ranging from technologies and strategies for collaborative learning, problem-solving projects and blended learning, to even, bridging the gap between the teacher, the student through AI. So I think it's been very, very enlightening.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. And thank you for blessing us with your wonderful thoughts in the panel. So now I'll talk, want to know much similar topic, and it is about experiential learning, learning by doing, which we have been, seeing is being implemented by schools from a very early age. And, today, like kindergarten students are also, have been instructed to, do their work on their own, making them independent from the, very beginning. So what are your thoughts on this, and how schools must implement this thing so that, our students are better ready for the future?
So I think it's again a very, very interesting question. And, to be honest, experiential learning, it is so strongly being advocated by the NEP 2020 and even the NCF, that is the National Curriculum Framework. But it dates back to our own Indian ancient culture. Abhi hum baat kare to Guru Dronacharya never taught on chalk and blackboard. We never had books. Pandavas and Kauravas never had kitabein or books to read from. So the teacher used to put forth a concept, give them a problem at hand, give them reasonable input, let them go around, do the research, come up with their findings, sit together, discuss and come to conclusions. So today what NEP talks about is what India has been doing since ages. Now it's just being re-talked about. So yes, this is a very, very interesting and a welcome topic which the schools are incorporating with open arms. And when we talk about experiential learning, we have a lot of strategies, I think few of which we even discussed in the panel today, like project-based learning, blended learning, collaborative learning, having techniques where the learning is no more teacher-centric, it's more student-centric. The teacher becomes a coach, a guide by the side, rather than being a saint on the stage, which used to be the traditional setup. So I think it's going to improve learning outcomes a lot, is what I really feel about it. Thank you.
Right, absolutely, ma'am. Just one quick last question. What are your thoughts on, a number of experiments that have been going in the education sector, like be it, introducing different patterns of assessment or, getting with skill labs or experiential learning or different kinds of vocational training programs. So how do you think, what should be, the core values that should be maintained and, be continued with it?
So experimenting is always good. It's a very positive streak. Trying and testing new ways. We shouldn't stick to what's traditional and what's accepted for once, because they always say change is constant. You cannot stick what valued us say 10 years back may not have that kind of relevance. So it needs to change accordingly. And when you talk about the changes being done nowadays in the education system, Okay, let me take up the example of the evaluation system. We've gone from CCE to summative to formative, and then again summative, and then no assessments, and then 2 assessments in a year. So CBSE, NCERT, and all the visionary educationists keep pouring in their ideas. We keep testing them. Of course, we as individual educators or the heads of schools have our own opinions. We all have our different constraints. I would say one single policy wouldn't work for everybody. Like for instance, if I take up the example of 2 board exams only, which even Sir was talking about, that doesn't seem to be a very feasible proposition, because you are engaging the limited staff members that you have twice a year, you are engaging the students twice a year, you're engaging the school resources twice a year. But we may come up with certain people who may have solution to these problems as well. So let's not close doors to experiment. Let's experiment and get down to something that is practically and feasible. That's practically feasible. Yeah, I would just say that. And if we talk about skill education, again, yes, we want to make our students future ready and not just classroom ready. Once you step out of the school, nobody's going to ask you what dates you learned, what chemical formulas you learned. They're going to see how productive you are on ground zero. So skill education is also very important, and I appreciate this initiative by the government to make it an essential part of the curriculum. So that's a welcome thing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts. And absolutely, some things are necessary and some things are just in the experimental, stage. But I'm sure the education system will really come, filter out all the, not so important things, and will have the best system around. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome. Honored.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this enlightening discussion. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did. Save 8534845670 and send "Hi" on WhatsApp for updates on the Edu-Leaders Show, featuring inspiring interviews from the education sector.